Welcome back, Ride Laugh Podcast. If you love mountain biking, you are in the right place. Picture your last really fun group ride. You're back at the parking lot. The Stoke is high. Everyone's talking about the ride, tech, nutrition, jumps, drops, berms, tech, NAR. That's what we talk about here every week on the Ride Laugh Podcast. You love bikes. We love bikes. Let's drop in. Sage, how are you?
Man, I miss you. It's not the same. It's not the same.
Anyone that's not watching on YouTube, we are back to our regular format. You might have told, maybe you could tell by the length of the podcast that this podcast is back to its regular 3.5 hour format where we talk about bikes.
Yes.
And Sage edits it down to an hour.
That's so true.
But now, epic trip, really long trip.
Yeah.
Really awesome. We got spoiled. I've always said I manifest Dan and Sage riding and laughing together more than ever. And we might have fit more rides and hangout and laughs in that, 6-week period, 8-week period? What was it? It was so long.
It was 2 weeks on the road and then probably about 6 weeks in Arizona, man. It was, oh boy, that was something else, man. That was
gratitude.
So much. Yes. Gratitude. So much happened. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. The ability to be able to be able to do that everything works out, you know, like so freaking cool.
Yeah.
All right. So you're back in Pennsylvania.
I am.
Biggest shock after being in the desert for 6 weeks? Anything?
Rain. Yeah. Walked off the plane.
What's that?
Immediately greeted with rain and cold temps. And I was like, what is happening? Oh, yeah. I was quite spoiled in AZ. We had it was probably 48 days straight of just pure sun, you know. It was perfect. Yeah.
You were here for really good weather. The fall, winter, and spring here are amazing. Of course, everyone knows the summers get really hot, and we ride earlier and earlier, so you can still manage it. And you can leave town. You know, in a couple hours you can drop temperatures pretty quickly. But yeah, we had really good weather, and I've said it before. That's one of the great things about riding in the desert, living in the desert. Yeah, it's just sunny every day. You could just ride every day, and we did. Especially you. I took a couple days off to, do my other job or hang out with my family. And you're like, I'm riding. I'm here. I'm riding. Yeah,
I know. It's crazy. I probably took like 3 days out of that 2 months. I probably took 3 days off. It's pretty incredible. Fitness was.
Did you feel like
right on par?
Oh, your fitness was amazing at the end. I know. It was incredible. Did you feel any sort of was your body like, okay, let's rest? Did you feel any sort of like extra fatigue when you got home or anything like that?
No. I was rearing to go and just like kind of excited to get on some dirt, and get under the trees. And it was interesting. I had 2 rides. I went to Mount Penn and then I went to the Phoenixville bike park. And it was as expected. I really enjoy East Coast riding, not that I don't love Arizona, but there's a different feel to it,
Sure. Yeah. That's what makes mountain bike travel so fun. Right. If you're in the East Coast, or if you live in the forest and dirt, it's fun to go to the desert. It's fun to go to Moab. It's fun to go to, Arizona and ride these different terrains and different types of rock and grip and features. So it is really fun to mix it up. Did you feel like there was a bump in skill from the trip and all that riding in Arizona, riding your home trails again?
I don't know if there was a bump in skill. I had to drop off the Stumpy because I cracked the frame when I was in Arizona. So I was back on the Ibis and man, was that, I was eye opening. Holy crap. I didn't, I love that bike. I absolutely love that bike. And I got on it and I was like, what, this does not feel good. It was crazy.
Wow. One of our quick reps, and we ended up doing a lot of episodes from the road, which is really cool because we get to stay in touch with our listeners that way through the comments and also just kind of giving all updates on what's happening. And there's way more to summarize in one episode. So if you haven't heard those, go back and listen. But one of our quick reps was the mountain bike upgrade trap.
Ooh.
Are expensive bike parts actually worth it?
Yeah.
And we talked a lot about carbon frames and aluminum frames, and there was a ton of comments in there about, is the weight savings of the carbon worth it for the fragility when aluminum seems to be so much tougher? And here you have your stump jumper not available because you cracked it on the trip and kept riding it. I mean, like it didn't fail.
Yeah.
I don't know whether or not that was a good idea or not, but
I would not recommend it.
Yeah. So does the carbon aluminum conversation debate, does this experience change your mindset at all?
No, I'm carbon all the way. I appreciate the weight savings. In that episode, we talked about what's the biggest advantage. And I think the biggest advantage is that weight savings. It's approximately about 2 pounds between an aluminum and a carbon frame. And, you know, I'm a smaller guy and I feel that I absolutely love the carbon. And, you know, when it fails, it does fail. The crack that I had, you know, it wasn't bad enough that I did have like anxiety moments where I was like, oh, do I want to hit this feature? I don't want this to, but at the end of the day, it's like, dude, I'm gonna ride this thing till the wheels fall off, you know? So yeah, just put that thought out there. Yeah.
And what did they say at the shop when you brought it in and you said, oh, there might be a little crack here?
They were like,
I'm presuming that they let you just take the bike back and keep riding all the gnarly stuff that you wanted to.
I was like, yeah, that's what that, yeah. So I went in there. I was like, so can I take this with me? And they're like, no. You're leaving that here.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're like, oh, there's a lot of video evidence of what I've been riding on this thing. And, you know, it was funny to me, like the trails that you didn't want to ride versus the ones that you were comfortable riding, knowing because you're like, oh, the frame's got this issue.
Yeah.
You know, and so I don't want to go down like you didn't want to go down the old man trail because it was too loose.
Right.
But you went down like everything else. I mean, we really didn't change our riding at all.
Yeah. Well, the loose stuff.
Why were you more concerned? Yeah. Why were you more concerned about the loose?
Well, the loose stuff is my kryptonite. Although I like to think that I don't have a kryptonite. That is my kryptonite. And the reason I think you're talking about the Dells, that last ride we did was just incredibly technical, super hard on the bikes. But dude, that was our last day. Like that was our last day. I was like, you know what? If it breaks on this, like it's fine. But you know, until then, I was like kind of nursing the frame all the way through.
I don't think you were. I don't think you were nursing it. If that's you nursing it, I feel bad for anyone that's sick in your house that's counting on Nurse Sage because you were pretty much like, yeah, we're just doing business as usual.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
I know.
Terrible nurse, terrible doctor. Unless you're a mindset doctor, right? In your mind, this frame is going to be fine. I'm not going to have any problems. I'm going to continue to have fun and it's going to last me until I get back to Pennsylvania and I'm going to handle it then. And so you just fixed that in your head and you did not worry about that frame because
manifestation.
Boy, if you let that little like bug eat away at the back of your brain that the frame's broken and whoa, I can't pull up here. I can't do a drop. Or if I don't hit the backside of this jump cleanly, you know, like, that totally ruined your flow.
Oh man, there's nothing worse than like thinking about equipment, whether it's a frame breaking or you brought the wrong gloves or you're wearing the wrong chamois, you know, or you forgot to wear chamois cream, you know, all that's like, there's nothing like a little nagging thing in your head, like, yo, something's not right, you know, like. For sure. Yeah. You know what one gets me is like if you have like a it can even be a little crash and your handlebars get knocked a little sideways and you take the tool out and you fix it, right? And then I start riding and I'm like, is this straight? Yeah. Hey, is it? Yeah. I don't know if it's completely straight. And, you know, and I'm just like staring at it. And like, I'll stop 3 or 4 times and be like, it's straight, right? It's straight enough. And I have to like fix in my mind. Yeah. Yes, it's fine. It's straight enough. You know, if it's off by like 0.1 degree, it's fine. Yeah. Have you ever been riding and your handlebars weren't straight? Like you didn't realize it. Like you had a little crash and your handlebars aren't straight. And then you're like a mile down the trail. You're like, wait a second. Right? Yes.
Has that ever happened to you?
It happened to me in Arizona.
Yeah.
Yes. I forget
who I had.
Yeah, I had to have somebody look at it. I think I had Jeff Wenzer look at it actually. You know, I was like, Jeff, is this straight? It don't feel straight, you know?
Yeah. That's a crazy feeling. Ride Laugh one at Gmail, YouTube comments. What things, the handlebars, has that happened to you? Yeah. And what other things kind of like get in your mind, you know, like if you're thinking about the chain or brakes, you know, just for fun comments.
Something in your shoe. Oh my gosh. How many times did we put on our shoes and Arizona's so dusty? You got that like little marbly stuff. Yeah. If you forget to empty out your shoe at the end of the ride, you put your, I can't ride like that. It drives me crazy.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah. It's like the Princess and the Pea for all the parents out there that remember that story.
Oh,
you don't remember that story?
No, I don't know.
Oh, you had boys. I had girls. Boys didn't read The Princess and the Pea. I'm not going to summarize The Princess and the Pea.
No.
Everyone can go out and check it out on their own. It's not, Ride and Laugh is Mountain Bike Podcast. The Princess and the Pea, that's too far.
Yeah.
It's too far gone.
Yes.
Everyone's on the edge of their seat. Come on, Dan. Oh, Uncle Dan, we wanted a story.
Uncle Dan.
All right. I'm so curious what riding the Ibis is like. So let our listeners, some of our newer listeners, know what year the Ibis was, why it's different than your current trail bike. And then what did it feel like taking out this older bike that you were so comfortable with at one time?
I know the Geo. I mean, it was right at the time when Geo started to make that evolution.
Yeah.
It's both 27.5, both front and back. It's very short. And it's what I loved about the bike. It's very snappy, very playful. And the stumpy is very planted, Holy crap, did I feel
longer.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Stump Jumper is 2025.
Yes.
The Stump Jumper is 2025 bike. Yeah. Ibis, Rip,
Mojo.
What was it? The Mojo. I can't believe I forgot that. How quickly we forget. So what was it like riding it with the different Geo and the full 27.5 and, coming from like really a trail / enduro bike to an old school trail bike?
Yeah. I mean, it feels like when you go from your bike to like the DJ, you're just like, it feels very twitchy.
Wow.
It's like, hey, whoa, and even the shocks, I have more travel on the stumpy, everything about that is just newer. And I surprised myself at like how much I was just like, oh my God, this feels very uncomfortable. I did get used to it, but yeah, that was eye opening.
From the video I saw of that ride you did at Mount Penn, looked like you were riding the tech, you were clearing the jumps, like you looked like you were slaying it as always.
Oh yeah. I'm quick adapter. You screw up
You are.
You screw up a few times and you kind of figure it out. And then it's like, okay, none of those screw ups were on camera, thank goodness. But it takes me about 10 to 20 minutes.
Well, I remember when the Ibis Mojo broke and the carbon repair needed to happen. Carbon repair takes much longer, I think, than getting a replacement triangle.
Yeah.
Which is what you're doing, right? You're getting a replacement.
Full replacement. Yep.
Yeah. So that's cool. But then you went to ride in the single speed, and our single speeds, we have the same frame, is very, very old school. Not only is a single speed, very old school geometry. Like we're talking, what, 2011, 12 when we got those?
Yeah, I know. It's bad. Yeah.
But I don't remember, we weren't really jumping yet all that consistently, or maybe we just didn't do it when you had that situation. But I remember you tackling all the tack. It blew my mind because I don't think I would be comfortable on that stuff. Yeah.
I took the single speed to Phoenixville Bike Park too a couple of times. It does
That's right.
everything. You do have to get used to that feel, like it's an awkward feel. That single speed, you're like standing on top of the bike. That's the thing with these newer bikes. You sit in the bike. Like it's like a cockpit.
Yes.
You get on the older bikes and you're like sitting on top of the bike. And that's what that single speed, it feels like that. And to an extent that the Ibis felt a little bit like that too.
Yeah. Very interesting. Well, Ride and Laugh on the Gmail, YouTube comments, if you've had experience riding the older bikes and the newer bikes, if you go back and forth, who's kept their old bike? Yeah. And what's it like riding that thing? Yeah. Right. And do you recommend it? Is there benefit in riding those older generation bikes?
Yeah.
I don't know. All right. Well, I took with you not here, I took the e-bike out and I was going to practice some jumps, and it was just a crazy windy day. So I went to Halls and I just flew up the climbing trail there, which is called Alp. And what's that? Usually like a 15-minute climb, maybe?
Yeah, 15 to 20,
exactly.
Something like that. Yeah.
So I timed it. I was getting up there in about 8 minutes, which is pretty close to like a chairlift, right? Like at a bike park.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. So I was flying up that thing. It was pretty cool. There was no one there. It was crazy windy day. So I had to change my plans.
Yeah.
And there's a trail there called High Ridge, which has like a little bit of everything. It's very chunky, but it's got some turns and I was just doing laps on it. Like you said, let's practice body position and speed and just feeling it out. And I don't really know that trail that well. So definitely riding it. Like I think I did four laps, you know, on the third, fourth lap, starting to feel pretty good.
Yeah.
I still screwed up here and there for sure, but that's okay. It was really an interesting experience. It was like 90 minutes. I got 4 laps in. And it was just like downhill practice. And I had, you know, I think I left the bike still had like almost 40% battery left. So, you know, like I wasn't real tired. I put the bike in the eMTB. It was awesome to just be able to go out and do that.
Yeah. What was the big takeaway? What was the big difference that you noticed between I mean, obviously you weren't tired, but like, what was the difference between first run and fourth run? What were you like picking up on, especially with that bike? Cause it's a little bit different on the Geo too, right? It's got more travel and.
Yeah, it's a little bit bigger bike than my Firebird for sure. I've never ridden that trail twice in a row. I feel like I've only ever like done pre-ride on that trail.
Yeah.
So the opportunity to do pre-ride, re-ride, free ride, extra ride.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah, that was awesome. You know, free ride, extra, free ride bonus. What's the fourth ride called? We always stop at free ride, you know?
Yeah.
Shreddy ride. That was definitely my best lap, you know, the fourth one. So it's cool. And you're not tired.
Right.
So because I'm not exhausted when I get to the top. I mean, it's a long downhill. So I was tired by the time I was done the downhills. Bike wise, I felt pretty comfortable on it. I got to say. The things that I was working on was being more forward, being more aggressive, having my eyes up.
Awesome.
And I was watching, I have a couple comments in here about Josh's Slanted Ground, the videos that Slanted Ground puts out on YouTube. And Josh is a friend of ours, and you've ridden with him before. And he just has a great way of explaining things. It's a very popular channel, a growing channel. Yeah. It's certainly his teaching style certainly resonates with me a lot of times. And he did a video where, I forget which one, but it was a couple back, where he was talking about like the default riding position for a lot of riders. And he was saying, you know, you get too far back and your elbows are in. And he said, I call that the prairie mantis position. He's like, I don't know why I call it prairie mantis, but like, it's just like, to me, that's just like what it feels like.
Do you mean praying mantis?
My comment was praying mantis? Praying
what's
mantis.
A prairie mantis? Yes, a praying mantis. It's like a little groundhog mantis.
It's a praying mantis, not a prairie mantis. Yeah,
a praying mantis. That's right.
No, I don't know the last time I actually said those words out loud. Praying mantis.
That's
even
right.
Typing it, like I put it in my notes. I was like, "Is that how you say it? Is it praying?" It's such a weird name for a
praying
bug.
mantis. Yeah, I know. You're
praying mantis.
I don't even know what you said. It was like a prairie mantis.
It's a prairie mantis. It's a mantis in the prairie. Obviously, it's. Yeah. What are those little dogs called? Those are prairie dogs. Yeah. I'm digging my hole deeper and deeper on stuff I don't know. Look, I'm a little rusty on the podcast.
That's
okay?
Right. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Let's stick with prairie mantis. I think that's a new Ride Laugh bug. Yeah. Yeah. Well, if there was ever a bug to describe my lanky ass, it's definitely the praying mantis, right?
Yes.
It's the longest, lankiest bug. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I commented him right away. I was like, I feel like this is about me specifically, the praying mantis. Yeah, I very much relate to that bug. I think that bug also has its head chopped off after mating. So that part I'm going to skip.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Manifesting a much higher vibe. You know what? The prairie mantis lives after mating.
That's right. Yes, thrives.
My mantis, in my world, my mantis lives. My mantis shreds.
Yes.
So Josh responded with some, you know, hey, I've seen video of you riding.
Yeah.
And he said, chin forward, hips up a little bit, and try elbows out. He's like, it's not a universal thing. The elbows out is not universal. And we've talked about this, like you mentioned how elbows in seem to be like for the real fast downhillers, but elbows out might be for the all arounder, a little bit more control.
Yeah.
And so doing these laps on lap 2.5 or 3, I started like, I remembered the elbows out, and boy, did that feel good. All of a sudden, elbows out. All of a sudden I'm turning the bike over so much more. I'm leaning it so much more. It's moving. And anyone that's been listening knows that I get rigid, you know, like we want to be dynamic. Yeah. I tend to tighten up. And so that felt really good. Ride Laugh One at YouTube, Ride Laugh One at Gmail and YouTube comments. Excuse me, got a little praying mantis in my throat. On the elbows out technique, if you know, and whatever else you're working on. But I thought that was actually really cool.
Yeah, that's it's one of those moves that I work on when I'm at the pump track, you know, or at like a bike park. It's really easy to pump the bike with your elbows out, especially because the bikes are smaller. It's harder for me to remember that on the mountain bike. But yeah, that's really good stuff, Danny.
Yeah. And then this is why I said multiple slanted ground. I don't know how he puts out so many videos. The guy, he's amazing. But he made a video recently, and it said it's called "Learning to Jump a Bike. The earlier you do this, the better." Yeah. And essentially, he was talking about like really start to practice doing. He didn't call it. He calls it a bunny hop, but the J hop technique, which is, what do we say? A bunny hop and the J hop are the same thing. So
same thing.
We call level lift as both wheels.
Both wheels.
But the bunny hop is getting that front wheel up first and then the rear.
That's right.
And I noticed when we were here, you and I were kind of like messing around at a couple of different places. I didn't really have a J hop. Like I didn't really have that in my bag. I didn't really know how to do that. And so Josh is explaining like how to practice that and then take it to a small roller, just a roller, and start that forward motion to get that arc when you're jumping. Yeah. So you're leaning back, and this is something you had me practice, was this like circular motion of getting back and then forward on the jumps. Yeah. And it's kind of like the circular motion, kind of like this wave motion that when you do it right, it just flows, right?
Like rowing, yeah.
So yeah, the rowing, right. So I thought, what better place to practice than the pump track? Because it's just full of humps, and I have a great pump track 15 minutes away. So I took the dirt jumper out yesterday, and I just started practicing the J hop, and I went from not having it at all to an hour later getting off the ground, a decent one, you know, and
that's flats too. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, on flats. That's right. Which makes it even more legit in a way, because I'm not pulling up with my feet at all to get the bike off the ground.
Yeah.
And then I'm playing with that motion on the pump track, and I'm doing that jump. That there's a really nice transfer jump that if you have the gumption for, sends pretty nicely. And so I'm really playing with it on that, and felt really good. I felt like that was good skills practice. You know, we talk about putting in the hard work, and you know, whether or not it's hard work or the hard play, you know what I mean? But working on these skills, and so that we can have more fun later. But the skills work was also fun, you know, like I enjoyed it. Yeah. So, and I took the drone out and I got footage of it, and having the drone by myself to get footage was really, really awesome. It was really cool. So we have drone conversations we can have, because we did get the DJI. I say we, because I mean the podcast, but the DJI Neo 2. Yeah. Is what which is what I ultimately decided to get. So that's a separate conversation. I'll let you respond to my meanderings about pump track.
Well, I was going to say, you know, our buddy Dan Ackerman made a really good, what did he say? He said, this is an investment, because we were talking about doing hard work, going back and practicing. And he said, you know what, don't look at it as hard work, look at it as an investment. And I saw that, man. You put your time in at the pump track, and you made an investment in J hopping, you made an investment in jumping, and it's going to pay dividends. If it's not already, it will, you know, so that's really, really awesome. The other thing that I was going to say was, I was talking to Brian on a bike a while back, and we were talking about the level lift and the bunny hop or J hop. And he's like, I don't even see the purpose of the level lift, you know? And I was kind of thinking about it. I was like, it really, really isn't a purpose. I mean, if you had the choice between the two, the J hop technique or bunny hop technique, where your, you know, front wheel comes up first and then the back wheel has a really nice arc to it, you could see the difference easily. Yeah. It's much more useful on the trail. That same technique can translate into, you know, doing a step up or a log over. Where's the, like, I've never hit something and like, oh, thank goodness I had the old level lift, you know? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I feel like maybe in case of emergency, like if you needed to jump straight up and you were going too slow to get enough arc.
Oh, like maybe a spider.
Maybe a snake. I was thinking about a snake. If you were like kind of slow rolling and there was a snake on the trail, right? And you get both wheels up.
Yeah.
But if you're going with any sort of speed whatsoever, the J-hop is going to get you further in the air, I think.
Yeah, I think it's a much more, I mean, it's an intense technique. I mean, it takes a lot more work for your body to do that. There's a lot more that happens, but man, it pays off more, I think.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that weight shift is really interesting. And when I started doing it on some of the rollers and that transfer jump, I could feel the arc just felt like even more control than what we had unlocked as far as jumping off the pedals at Estrella. That tip that worked, jumping off the pedals. This felt like adding this was like even another level of control. So it all really just builds on each other.
Good stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, really good stuff. And one of the things that Josh said in the comments, because I commented, I was like, wow, I feel like this video was like made for me. And maybe he's listening to the pod and just being like, all right, Dan, here you go. You think the universe is just working, where I'm just getting exactly the instruction I need as it goes. That's the way it feels, but I think the experience that I'm having is the experience that a lot of riders are having. And Josh knows that.
Yeah.
Josh understands where people struggle. He just has a really good intuition on that. And one of the things that he said, which resonates, is you're not going where the bike goes where you go. Ooh. And so when we do that J-hop technique, we're pushing forward to get the rear wheel off the ground, to get that arc. You're really pushing where the bike goes.
Yeah. I like that. It goes with the whole mantra of like, your bike is not taking you for a ride. You're taking the bike for a ride. So, it alleviates that being pulled by the bike, no, you're controlling it. I love that.
I was thinking as it was happening, as I was like starting to feel that, I thought about our good friend Zan at Sploosh MTB, and one of his comments ages ago was, you have to be the pilot of the bike, right? Be in control of the bike. And so many times in my life, I feel like that bike starts to lead me. And isn't that a great analogy for life also, right? Like, let's decide what we're going to do. We have the freedom to choose how we're going to feel about everything.
Yes.
We don't always get to choose what happens, but we can choose how we feel about it, and that it's going to work out for us.
Yeah.
And so just like on the bike in life, we get to choose, how we're going to feel about it. And hey, I choose to say that this is all going to work out for me, and what's the best that can happen.
Yo, I love that. And a couple great callbacks there.
Well, speaking of Zan at Sploosh MTB, he has the comment that I highlighted from one of our road trip episodes, and we did several episodes. I'm going to try to touch on a few of them. Awareness is your superpower. Shift fear to confidence and trust your mountain bike skills.
Yeah.
And in that episode, you talked about getting more aggressive when you get angry, when you feel like you messed up on the bike or you're not riding well. You talked about getting more aggressive.
Yeah.
And I thought you were the anomaly. I was like, oh my gosh, like if I mess up, I start getting more passive. I start getting further and further back. I get more and more scared.
Yeah.
And it was really interesting because Zan said that anger riding feeling isn't super unusual, Sage. In my basketball days, anytime a play went wrong because of something I did, I started rage playing and playing extremely aggressively and usually pretty well.
Yeah.
And as a former basketball player myself, and I'd love to get back to it, I love playing basketball, but as someone who really relates to basketball, when I wasn't playing well, I was like, man, I did the same thing. I got more aggressive. There was no fear of falling off of my bike.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it was just like, I'm going to get in there, I'm going to box out harder, I'm going to get every rebound. If my shot's not going down, like, I'm just going to play better defense. I'm going to out hustle everybody.
Yeah.
So I was just like, wow, I'm not doing that on the bike. I would love to shift that mentality.
I love that, man. I love that. And just to preface, I'm not talking about if you get hurt. Like if you make a mistake and you get hurt, like that's not when I get more aggressive. That is when I start to pull back. But if you make like a silly mistake, you're like, man, why did I, that gets me angry. It's like, okay, I'm not hurt. Just dial in that focus a little bit more. That's what I'm talking about. And I'm not actually like angry. I'm not like, rah, but it's more like a frustration. So it is kind of like, don't drive angry, don't ride angry. But yeah, it's a great way to kind of take it out. And what I find is when I'm making a mistake, it's usually because I'm not completely sold. I'm not selling out on the bike. And when I get angry and I'm just like, okay, let's get forward. Like if you're going to get forward, get aggressively forward. Yeah. I'm selling out for that. Like I'm really going for that and exaggerating that. And that ends up helping me in the long run. So yeah, that's where that came from.
It locks you in more.
That's right.
You're making mistakes and you're like, hold on, Sage. lock in, get forward, be aggressive,
do it,
ride your ride. Yeah.
Right.
You know, like because if you're making mistakes, then either you're not focused or your body position might be off a little bit. So,
right.
Yeah, I love that. You know, like, let me be more aggressive. Let me be more forward, because that's going to serve me. It's going to make me more comfortable. It's going to make it more fun. Yeah.
Yeah. We've all been there where you have that lazy riding where you're just like, I'm just going to, and you're not doing the moves completely, and you just think, and it just bites you. And you're just like, you know what? Let's do this.
Yeah. Yeah. Get out of autopilot, get present.
There you go.
Get present.
Yeah. Love that.
I love that. And you also made a reference to a movie, a very old movie. Let's see who picks up that reference. Do you even know what, do you know what I'm referring to?
No, which one?
You said, Don't Drive Angry.
Oh, can I not say it?
Oh, you ruined it.
Dang it.
You ruined it. We're going to, some of our listeners wanted to respond.
Dang.
Well,
I only gave like the first word.
I thought it was very funny because it's such a small reference, but anyone that's seen the movie, and I don't know when the movie came out, but in the 80s and 90s, we watched movies over and over and over and over again because they were always on. So
yeah,
that's funny. All right. Awesome stuff. And then on road trip episode, the mountain bike jump tip that finally clicked, unlock more flow and ride with zero pressure.
Yes.
And that was the day that we had gone to Estrella, and your jump coaching had finally clicked with me. And we really started to get that good arc and that comfortable form and clearing things and more confident. And I talked about jumping off the pedals. That was the tip that clicked for me, was jumping straight off the pedals. And our buddy Thomas said lots of great points on jumping techniques that we discussed there. I just like to imagine how my body position would be jumping without a bike. It's quite similar as on the bike. So that was something else that I kind of figured out as we were at Estrella, is like, just pretend there is no bike and you're jumping straight up in the air.
Yeah. It's a great one. And we did that, where we just jumped up onto a park bench, it was like, there's no bike. What would that look like? Yeah. How does that feel? And it's the same exact thing, So yeah, good stuff, Thomas. Yeah. So anyone, if you're on a small roller, right? If you're on your trail ride, and we had a lot of people that commented in that are loyal listeners that say, I'm not interested in jumping, or it just seems too scary, and that's fine. Like, ride your ride, have fun. This is what it's all about, right?
But if you're playing around and there's a little roller or a little ramp or something that's not scary, try, just next time you roll over it, try jumping straight up in the air like there's no bike, to see how that feels, and just, you might surprise yourself and be like, oh, that actually feels good. And maybe you can start doing a little hucking and jibbing and jumping on the trails where someplace, where you hadn't before, and just add a little extra fun within that context of feeling safe and confident.
Absolutely. I mean, I like how you said that. Take a small roller. There's a couple small tables that I had no trouble clearing before, but okay, let's refine that technique. It's a jump that you're comfortable with, that you're probably not going to get hurt. Let's try that, All
right. And then also on that episode, we had so many great comments on that episode. Thank you, everybody. Ride Laugh on Gmail and YouTube comments on this episode, on any other episodes. Yeah, keep it coming. We love the feedback. And so we had Don't Worry, I'm a Pilot, which is Tyler. And he wrote regarding bouncing. Much of mountain biking is about pressure control. That bouncing is allowing you to add pressure when you need it, when seeking some suspension, loading to push up against in a jump, or seeking traction in a corner, or reduce pressure when you don't, rock garden or diagonal routes or chunky bits in front of the feature. Sometimes it's hard to listen to this podcast or watch a video and then take it to the trails, right? To even remember.
Right.
But I think the bouncing and that, where that traction comes, I think that's one of those things that we really want to that should be one of the primary things we're practicing and focusing, because there's just so much there.
Yeah. I mean, not only does bouncing give you a feel for traction because you're getting heavy and getting light, but in the act of bouncing itself, it causes you to become more dynamic. So for someone like you who gets tight, the bouncing, oh, wait, let's loosen up. You can't bounce stiff. It's impossible to bounce stiff. So hold my beer. No,
hold my beer. You got to see me on a pogo stick, man. I can bounce stiff. How loose do you have to be on a pogo stick? I don't know. I was pretty good at the pogo stick. Do you remember the pogo sticks?
I do remember the pogo stick. I was not very good at the pogo stick, but the concept is the same, right? It's like you want to get loose, you want to feel that, and just like a pogo stick, you're impacting the ground. You can do the same thing. You can jump into a turn. You can bounce. We were doing that right at the Estrella, right before the jump. I was telling you, loosen up, first of all, bounce, but then that helps with your timing. So you get your timing right of when you want to bounce and kind of jump off your pedal. Yeah, man, there's so many advantages to the bounce game.
I think the bouncing also is gonna in a way keep you centered, because you're gonna be bouncing straight through your pedals, right? If you're leaning too far back or if you're too far forward, you're gonna notice it when you start bouncing. You're gonna notice that you're not on your feet are gonna notice it.
Yeah.
So if you add that little bit of a bounce, like you're pushing straight through the middle of the bike, no matter what the angle of the uphill or the downhill. You know, like if you're getting light and heavy. I know that's something that Rob Drew talked about on his climbing technique, because he climbs in a big gear like you do.
Yeah.
And this might be a conversation for another day, because I think it's really cool, but he's actually getting heavy and light on the climb. He's looking for places to lighten up. And when I do that, like, it does start to feel better. First of all, it's a great distraction on a long climb. If you start thinking like, where can I get a little bit lighter?
Yeah.
You know, it's a great distraction. Yeah. But secondly, like, hey, if this actually helps us, you know, I'm strong. Like I lift weights, I ride the trainer, I got a pretty good FTP, you know, and I just like mash up a climb.
Yeah.
Well, what if I could add a little bit of flow, make that a little bit easier, have that strength and unlock a little bit more flow on a climb? That's pretty dope.
Yo, I love that. I don't think I've ever tried climbing and bouncing at the same time. I don't know if I can, but I would love to give that a shot as well. So thank you, Rob. I'm putting that in my notes.
Yes. All right. And then mountain bike fear to excitement. Trust your skills and find effortless flow on the trails. Another road trip episode. And we already mentioned great listener Dan at Juggernaut MTB. And here we go again, because he puts in a lot of great comments. And we were talking about hard work and whether or not we wanted to call mountain biking work, and, you know, kind of like, because it's our fun thing. And Dan wrote, it's not hard work, it's an investment. That sudden onset trepidation-like feeling might not always be fear. The body can't always distinguish between fear and excitement. The nervous system doesn't care why adrenaline was released, just that it was. It's the mind that directs the secondary response. One choice releases cortisol, which is the stress hormone, while the other releases dopamine, which is a feel-good hormone. Yeah. Making fear a literal buzzkill. In the end, it's you who chooses your adventure. And that's what I loved about that comment, is that adrenaline is released. You get to choose, just like we were talking earlier. You get to choose what you're going to do with that feeling.
Yeah.
Is this going to be Stoke or nope?
I know, man. Dr. Dan, like this guy, I love the way just like Josh at Slanted Ground, I love the way that Dan words things. And he mixes up science with, like, you know, just regular real life.
He's very learned. Yes. Yeah. He's a very learned listener. I know. Yeah. We have some absolutely great comments. All the comments are great, you know, but that's some people certainly have a way with words, for sure.
Yeah. He's one of those guys, but thank you, Dan. We talked about the investment, making an investment earlier in the pod, and that just really resonated with me. When I went to the Phoenixville Bike Park, it was the same thing. I thought it was really hot that day, and I was like, you know what? I'm making an investment in my jump game and style, and that felt a lot better. It didn't feel like hard work. It felt like, this is going to pay dividends down the line. Yep. Yeah.
If you can have fun while you're working on skills, you know what I mean? I think in our minds, we're like, no, that wouldn't be fun. I don't want to take cones out and do turn practice, you know, but if you actually go out and do it, and then you start to feel good, and then it translates to the trail, you're going to be like, yeah, that's totally worth it. That's, you know, making our fun hobby even more fun. Go out and ride. If you don't, I mean, there's no pressure. Like, if you don't want to do it, but I just find, like, just like we talked about, like on that goat camp trail where the tech was super high level and I was coming off of this injury, and it was like, well, I can either walk my bike down this whole trail, or I can just get into it and trust my skills.
Right.
And that was like a turning point for me after the injury, getting my confidence back. And same thing in life. I just find, like, a lot of times, like, things seem like such a big, huge hurdle in my mind.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I just start working on it. I just get into it.
Yeah.
It starts to flow. Answers come, you figure things out. Like the skills are in there, right? Bikes and life. Like we all figure things out. Just don't get paralyzed. Just keep moving forward, and then, what's the best that can happen? And then it's going to happen. So instead of like looking at something as such a big wall, such a big hurdle, okay, let me just get into it. And maybe it's not as big as we thought it was.
I love that, Danny. It's like the proverbial race gun going off, and it's like the gun goes off, and are you just going to, and you're just going to wait, although the rest, no, start the race, just go and start to pin it and trust that you got the skills, that you know what you have to do. And it's like, let's go. Once you start moving, as long as you have the skills, it'll come out. Yeah. Trust it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. The movement is key. Just move forward. Right. And we're talking about that on the bike, right? Just be aggressive, move forward. In life, be aggressive, move forward. So listeners, whatever you're working on, whatever you're dealing with, and everyone's got their thing for sure. Some bigger than others, some moments bigger than others, right? Sometimes life's feeling pretty smooth. Sometimes life's like, oh my gosh, I have so much here. Just keep moving. Stay present, one thing at a time. It's going to work out. You're going to figure it out on the bike, in life. We got this. So can't really talk about that enough. Can't really remind ourselves of that sort of thing enough. So Ride Laugh is here for everyone to remind us.
I do want to say, because this kind of like, I don't want that to come off like Sage just said, just send it, because it's not a just send it type of thing. Oftentimes I'll get to a feature and it'll almost be paralyzing to me. I'll keep coming up to the commitment line, or I'll keep coming up to the trailhead start. And I'm like, no, it's still not feeling right, and you just end up doing another circle, you come back, or you walk back up to the thing, and you just, at a certain point, that paralysis might mean that you aren't actually ready to do that feature. So don't Sage just said this. No, you got to figure out what the right signs are. Sometimes that paralysis is your body saying you're not ready to do this. But assuming you are, just go and do it. You can do it.
Well, either way, you're going to move forward.
That's true.
Right. You're going to either hit a different trail, or you're going to find the go around. If it's just one feature, you're going to keep moving forward. You're not going to just stay there all day looking at it. Yeah. Just keep moving. And then next time you come to that feature or a similar feature, maybe that's the day, maybe not, but we're just going to keep moving forward. We're just going to keep accepting where we are with grace. And then, okay, I'm going to, and then let it go. No pressure. Oh, I didn't hit it, and beating ourselves up, or, let's just like, nope. Today wasn't the day, and that's okay, but you're still moving forward. You're not standing there and looking at it all day, right?
Yes.
Let's just get into it. Whatever it is, if it's a tech trail and a double black tech trail like on Goat Camp, or, looking for a new job, just get into it. Just start.
I love it.
Whatever it is. Yeah. All right, Sage. Well, we got to ride with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Out in Arizona, and that was amazing, right? I got a lot of mountain bike friends out here, and a lot of listeners are out here, and we did several rides, several group rides, and there's just like countless people. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
But what about all of our listeners around the world that want to ride with us? What if there was a Ride and Laugh mountain bike trip?
Sign me up.
Would that be cool?
That would be amazing.
Where you get to ride with Dan and Sage for a week?
Come on now.
Well, it's happening. It's happening. Yes, it's happening. We are going to Costa Rica.
Yes.
And it is through Adventure Americai. We talked to Matt, and Americai means doing something with soul and love. And we're going to have more details coming up soon, but it's going to be in January. So all of our people that are not in the desert, that want to get out of the cold, think about how horrible that last winter was.
God.
And you're going to Costa Rica for a week, and you're riding with Dan and Sage. It's going to be all inclusive. You pay for your flight, and then it's all inclusive. What would you think an all inclusive? So we got housing, we have food, we have guides, we have shuttles. What do you think a trip like that would cost? An all inclusive mountain bike trip to Costa Rica?
$1 million. Oh, I got to do my mini me from Austin Powers.
Yes.
$1 million.
That is correct. That is correct. If you have $1 million, you can actually send it directly to Sage and I, and we'll go ahead and tell Matt. We'll pay the difference. Yep. If it's a little bit more, we'll handle that. I just want everyone to know we'll handle that.
We'll take care of it. Yes.
Well, everyone in their mind is right now is thinking what that would cost. And the trip is $2,600. You buy your airfare, you pay the $2,600, you get a week of riding with lodging, food, guides, shuttles. And I thought that was like, when I saw that number, I was like, wow, that seems really reasonable. And riding in an exotic and new location. So I think it's going to be a blast. We'll have more details to come. RideLaugh1 at Gmail, YouTube comments. Certainly let us know if you're interested. But
this
could be a good time, man.
I mean, it's January, right? You said January. I mean, this could be a good thing to kind of get yourself a little Christmas present. Gift yourself, a little, or maybe drop a hint to the, your partner or your spouse or whatever, like, hey, maybe you want to buy me this present. Yeah.
Look, I want to tell everyone too that it's riding. It's really an intermediate or up. So there's going to be options. So, if you're an expert level rider, there's going to be expert level trails, but there's also intermediate level trails. And so you don't have to be a crazy skilled advanced shredder. Like if you just like getting out on your bike and riding, then and you want to sign up for it, then go for it. And also it's tons of shuttles. So if you're an e-biker or fitness is a concern, don't worry about it. It's like they got you taken care of there.
I mean, it's basically 8 days of fun with Dan and Sage. That's basically what it is. Your beautiful weather, awesome trails, and awesome people. So yeah, let's do this. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Well, so as soon as we have everything absolutely 100% figured out for signups, then we'll have the link in the show notes and we'll be talking about this more. Yeah. But I was excited to bring it up. And I feel like, we named Ride and Laugh Across America, and we had a lot of different ideas for Ride and Laugh Across America.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking maybe we should have changed it to Ride and Survive Across America since Dan went down and went to the ER.
No.
But we got to name the Costa Rica trip. I have a couple of ideas.
Oh,
you want to hear my preliminary ideas?
Yeah, I do. Yes.
Okay. All right. I have Ride Laugh Rainforest.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Tropical Trails and Tall Tales. That sounds more like an episode, but I liked it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Jungle Laps and Belly Laughs.
Oh, that's not bad too. I like that one. Yeah.
Ride and Laugh Tropical Takeover. Rainforest Rippers. Ride and Laugh Jungle Jam.
Jungle Jam. Okay.
Sounds like something that would go well with peanut butter. Oh, that Ride and Laugh Jungle Jam's good.
Yeah. Very nice.
On some Rob Drew sourdough. Oh yeah, that's delicious.
Nice. Put that in the food truck. Absolutely.
All right. Well, we will continue to workshop these. Did you have anything, any of those resonate with you? Or
I mean, the most obvious would be Ride and Laugh Across South America. Pretty simple.
Oh yeah. I think it's Central America, right? Isn't Costa Rica Central America? We should.
Dang it, you're right.
We should probably nail that down.
Yes, no, you're right. Dang it. Geography was not my strong suit.
All right. Make sure that you leave reviews on Apple Podcasts. If you're an Apple listener, that would be awesome. Like that helps spread the word. The 5-star reviews and saying something nice is great. And we have one from Terry Bindler. And thank you, Terry. The title is A Mountain Bike Podcast for Normal People.
Oh.
And he wrote, 2 lovely fellas with excellent rapport chat about improving their cycling skills and living a happy, healthy life.
All right, then. Well, thank you.
What
was it, Tyler? Yeah.
Terry. Thank you for calling us normal after the whole prairie mantis mishap. I really needed a win there,
No, that was spot on though. I mean, I think that's why our show resonates, because we are too normal. We're not coming at this from like a pro standpoint, like we used to race pro or whatever. We're just 2 guys that learned how to ride bikes just like everybody else, and we have the same struggles as everybody else, and we're just open about talking about those struggles on the on the air.
I like how you said learned. 2 guys who learned how to ride bikes. One of us is relearning how to ride a bike. But
that's right. Yeah.
From the comments, it's not that unusual. It's not that unusual, especially guys our age, guys and girls our age that been riding for a longer time and have developed some of these old kind of patterns and these not great habits based on the geometry of the older bikes or just being self-taught. It's just like the way I jumped was speed and Moxie. really before, it only could go so far.
Yeah.
But it was just like figuring it out, it was like, how much speed do I need here to figure out how to clear this jump? And I got really good at doing that, but there's better ways. And so stepping back and being open to receive and learning that so that we can be more confident and safe, and then practicing those skills, like everything happens for us. It's so great. I'm so much more open to receive practice and suggestions and skills that are just going to make it so that I can have unlimited fun on my bike, more fun, more confidence. That's fun. When you feel confident and you're hitting like a bike park, or you're riding your trail and you're hitting like all the features, or you're clearing all the sections, right? Like on your local ride, it feels great. That flow, that confidence feels great. It's worth it.
Yeah.
Worth fighting for.
Ooh, I love that. And I love the word Moxie, which you just threw in there. And man, I don't hear that enough. I love that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, good. It's 2 wins for me. So everyone forget about the Prairie Mantis. Let's go with normal and Moxie. Except I have a feeling that the thumbnail for this episode might be like some sort of praying mantis with my face on it, or I don't know. Why did I say that? Sage makes a thumbnail. Why did I just put that out there? I don't know what the click through would be on that. People that don't know the podcast
very disturbed.
Be like, the hell is this about? It might be, it might be curious enough. To click on it,
from the guys that brought you dino leg,
dinosaur legs. Yeah. I love it. We got our Asian dinosaur leg climber and our lanky, the lanky prairie mantis. I think anyone that doesn't know us and clicked on a thumbnail that had praying mantis on a bike, as soon as they turned the episode on and saw us, they would be like, "Oh, the guy. Oh, there." That's the guy.
The one. That's the guy.
Yeah, that's the lanky bug. I think that's the guy. Ride Laugh on Gmail YouTube comments. If this is your first time watching, did you know I was the praying mantis?
Can we get shirts made, and you'll have like a praying mantis on a bike, and I'll have the dinosaur on the bike on my shirt? Oh, that was great.
No, we cannot. You don't get to be a dinosaur while I'm a praying mantis with his head chopped off. No, we cannot get those shirts. I don't veto many things, but I'm vetoing that. No one's going to want the Danny shirt. No one's going to want to be the praying mantis.
Are you kidding me? That's a badass bug right there, man. The praying mantis.
It is a badass bug.
Yes.
You're right.
Yes.
You're right. Yeah, it is a badass bug. It's a little bit lanky on a bike, but it is a badass bug. I agree with that. All right, Sage.
Hey,
mountain bike gratitudes of the week. We talk about gratitude all the time, but our official segment of gratitude of the week, it's been a minute.
Yeah,
they're piling up. I got a huge list of them.
Yeah, did you?
What do you have? Yeah, I got a huge list of gratitudes. Oh my gosh, so much to be grateful for.
You're right. There is so much to be grateful for. I have a weird one. It's YouTube. I'm really grateful for YouTube, and it's not for the reason that you might think it is. I'm really grateful for YouTube for housing my channel, because I got the opportunity to ride at Mount Penn with a bunch of guys that I didn't know, but they knew me and they knew the mountain through my YouTube channel. And I just thought that was so cool. Yeah. So, I mean, it was like, they were like, I got into mountain biking from watching your videos, or I know this trail because of your videos. Like, that's pretty cool that there's this medium that's available to everybody, and you just have to take advantage of it. And I just thought that was really cool. Thank you, YouTube or Google or whoever it is that's running that. I just thought that was really great.
Yes. Thank you, Cloud, that is hosting and storing digital cloud somewhere that no one really understands how it works. But I've been on so many destinations with you where people have recognized you or appreciated you, and it happens with the podcast too. It's awesome. It's really cool that you put out really cool videos, TrailSage videos. If you haven't been following TrailSage, if you're new to Ride and Laugh, check out Sage's TrailSage channel, because you've done several Arizona rides recently. So if you want to see like more details of what we've been riding since we're out here, you definitely want to be signed up for TrailSage. And TrailSage also offers coaching. So if you're one of these riders that sees and listens and understands how valuable Sage's input is, and I can tell you firsthand, having received much of your coaching, on the bike and mindset wise. It's money well spent. Absolutely. So if you have the opportunity to get TrailSage coaching, sign up. He's very busy. So
wow, you know what?
Sign up quickly.
Also, yours truly, Danny. Danny is featured in a lot of my videos too. So if you are interested in seeing the Mantis in action, check out those videos. Right. He is often featured. Yes.
Yes. If you want to see me praying and being a mantis at the same time, I'm often praying. I'm a prairie mantis. I'm a praying mantis.
That's right.
But I want to be a dynamic loose mantis.
Oh, I like that.
A loose mantis? Dynamic mantis. Dynamic mantis. Ooh. Oh, that'll be my superhero name. Dynamic mantis. I like that.
Oh, I like that too.
Is there a mantis superhero? I think there is already one.
Is there?
Ride Laugh on a Gmail, YouTube comments.
Yeah, let us know.
I feel like there is a mantis already.
Yeah, it's you.
Yeah. Might be a bad guy. All right. Awesome stuff. For this week's Mountain Bike Gratitude, after the trip we had, I really wanted to throw another shout out to Emigos Bike Shop. I bought my new eMTB Orbea Wild from them, and they were an absolute pleasure to work with. They know their bikes. Gratitude to all the great bike shops that everyone has. But if you're in the Phoenix area, can't recommend Emigos enough. And we were in there a bunch with these small mechanicals, big mechanicals, things that we needed fixed to be able to keep riding. And they always just took care of us, man. They were awesome. So just huge gratitude to Emigos.
I was just about to say exactly that. I'm out there for a trip, and I imagine everyone's kind of been in this scenario. Something happens with your bike. The bike shop prioritized my bike. They're like, dude, he's only here for, a couple more days. We got to get this done, get him back out on the trails. It's not like I have a second bike to rely on. When you're on a trip like this, that is your only bike, and a bike shop that gets it, that's a special shop. And Emigos gets it. Every one of those guys and gals in that shop, they get it. So yes, kudos to your gratitude. I agree.
They ride bikes. They understand the Stoke in there is always high. They're always super friendly. Yep. And they also rent bikes. So if you're in the Phoenix area and you got a day or two to ride, you can rent a bike there and take it right to South Mountain. I'm sure you could, take it wherever you want, but you can literally ride from their shop onto the trails, and they demo bikes also. So if you're interested in buying a bike, they do e-bikes and regular bikes. But it's a pretty cool opportunity. Most shops you get to ride the bike around the parking lot. There you can actually take your bike,
take it right to the trail. Yeah,
see what it feels
awesome.
Like. Yeah. So kudos and gratitude to Emigos. Good stuff, man.
Yeah,
it's good talking to you. Good getting back in the flow. Anything else you want to add before we close it out?
Yeah, my mountain bike tip. I got a good one, bud.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about the tip of the week. It's been so long.
We've been giving out tips.
So long. That's so funny. Yeah. As we were going through the gratitudes, I was like, I feel like there's another thing, but no, I don't see anything else. And then, here's I have a whole list of mountain bike tips of the week that I just blew past that. Okay. All right. I'm here for it. I apologize, everyone. Everyone's like, what the F, dude? We're not getting a tip. All of a sudden, you're a lanky bug, and now we don't get a tip. Bring back the regular Danny. Forget this Mantis one. I'm being a villain.
That's right. Well, listen, the mountain bike tip, and this blew my mind. We were out on one of these road trips, and we have these pedals, and if you're running flats, you got these pins, and they were kind of banging into each other on the bike rack, and I gotta tell you,
are banging into the frame, right?
That's right.
The next bike, yeah.
I'm holding up a Ride Reactive koozie here. Shout out Nathan. But any koozie will work, but I suggest getting a Ride Reactive one. These things slipped right over the flat pedals
with your purchase of a shirt while you're on there. Please.
Yes, that's right. Please, yes. These things fit right over the pedals perfectly, and they prevent the pins from scratching anything. So the reason why I said this works for even other bikes, like when you have bikes next to each other, but if you wanted to protect your bike leaning against a wall or leaning against a piece of furniture, these koozies work perfectly for that. So yes, put them over your flat pedals if you need to protect something else from your pedals. That is the mountain bike tip, my friend.
It's a great tip. I got to give credit for that, I think, to our buddy Chris Huffmeyer, because we showed up at his house and Chris had the koozies ready to go. I had never seen that before.
Chris Huffmeyer.
Chris was ready.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. He had like eight koozies. Right? Yeah, we're like, whoa.
Yeah, our beers were all room temperature, but the pedals were protected. Yeah, you want a cold beer, you want a cold soda, you got to scratch your frame because these things, the bikes take priority. Absolutely. Yeah. That's a great tip. Yeah, Ride Laugh 1 at Gmail, YouTube comments if you've heard that one or anything related to that, anything related in general, and we're here for it. Sage and I are here to help anyone along. Anything that we've said resonates, or if you have any questions, anything that you're going through, let us know. We're here to help everybody out, and I hope that the podcast is helping everyone out. We love recording it, and we love the feedback, and we're excited about where we're going to go and what's next on board for us and for everybody.
Yeah. And if you have a koozie making company and you can make us Ride and Laugh koozies or pedal protectors, let us know. We're into that. Yes. Come on now. Ride and Laugh koozies. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Who's got a koozie company? Yeah. One of our listeners has a koozie company.
Come on.
Does such a thing exist? I guess it does. They're made somewhere, right?
Someone's making
I've never met anyone that's in the koozie business. Yeah.
The koozie business.
All right. Well, if you're still listening, you are definitely one of us. You love mountain bikes. We appreciate you. Make sure you rate and subscribe. Make sure you set your podcast player to auto download. Make sure you tell your friends about the pod. And if you're on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. Leave us a comment. We appreciate everyone. Have a great week and a great week of riding. Ride and Laugh.
I'll see you, everyone.